Really thinking about what day it was at all. Like, I had slept at my friend's house the night before. So on this day, I woke up and I didn't think anything of it. I thought like it was just a normal day. I didn't think anything was happening with my family or like anything important, like a dinner or anything. Because I stayed at my friend's house the night before. And usually, if I'm about to go sleep at a friend's house, my mom would tell me like, hey, we have something important going on tomorrow. Come back in the morning or don't sleep there. So she didn't tell me that this time. So I didn't think much of it. So, I wake up the next day. I'm with my friends. We're planning on taking these shrooms. We take the shrooms. I took like 2.5 grams, which is more than enough for me. And right after I take them, like literally right after, probably 5, 10 minutes after, I get a text from my mom saying, hey, when are you coming home? So I reply and I'm like, I don't know, probably going to sleep here again. And she's like, we have a dinner tonight. You got to be here for that. And in my head, I'm thinking, like, what's so important that I have to be there for dinner? Like, I skip dinner with my family all the time. Like, there's no way it's that important. So I reply and I say that. I'm like, what's so important tonight? That was already a big mistake. She goes, it's my birthday. Did you seriously not remember? So in my head, I'm like, oh no, like, fuck. Not only am I in deep shit because I just forgot my mom's birthday was today, but also I just took shrooms and I have to go home and celebrate her birthday with her and my entire family on shrooms. So I didn't know what to respond with. So I just said, happy birthday. What time do you want me home at? And she goes, dinner's at 5. And it was 3:30. So I had to be home kind of soon. So I replied and I said, all right, sounds good. See you then. And she goes, all right, see you. And I started to try and look at the bright side. I was like, okay, she's not that mad at me. Because if she was mad at me for forgetting her birthday, she would text me and be like, can't believe you forgot. Really? Like, what the hell? So that was good. She wasn't mad at me. But in my head, I'm thinking, like, I just ate shrooms. And it's been a long time since I've done that. And I'm almost certain that I'm about to have a horrible fucking time. So I tell my friends, I'm like, guys, I forgot that today's my mom's birthday. I have to go home soon and celebrate her birthday with my entire family on shrooms. And my one friend, the one who had the shrooms, is like, dude, just go in the bathroom, throw them up, like puke them all out, like just go without having those in your system. And I was like, dude, that's going to make me feel even worse. And like, I'm pretty sure if they sit there long enough, you can still have like minor visuals or something, even if you throw them up. He's like, yeah, maybe, but it'll be better than having them all in your system. I'm like, dude, I hate throwing up. Like, I can't do that. He's like, all right, fuck, then just go, man. Like, I'm sure you'll be fine. You didn't take that many. I'm like, fuck. So I call an Uber. I say goodbye to my friends. They wish me luck. I get in the Uber. I go home, and my mom's like, hey, you got here quick. I'm like, yeah. And I immediately just like walked to my room because I didn't want to deal with all the people there. There was like a lot of people because she invited a lot of her friends and most of our family. I don't have a huge family, but when you put everybody in the kitchen, it's a little crowded. So I walk straight to my room and I'm in there just on my phone waiting for visuals to kick in. And like 30 minutes go by, and at this point it's been about an hour, and it starts to kick in, and I get a knock on my door, and of course it's my mom, and she's like, hey, we're starting dinner. You want to come out? I'm like, sure. And she goes, all right, come on. And she's being really nice, which is relieving because, I kind of forgot her birthday. So she's being like surprisingly nice to me. So I like walk out, I sit down at the table, everyone's saying hello to me, I'm saying hi to them. I'm super anxious, and I'm just staring at the kitchen cabinets, and there's like colors all over them, and my depth perception is not that good, and I'm just staring at them, really just analyzing them, kind of just taking in what I'm seeing. And my mom taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, hey, do you want bread? I'm like, yeah. She gives me bread. She goes, do you want pasta? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, are you okay? You don't look that good. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, just tired. And she's like, yeah, you're probably up all night at your friends, huh? I was like, yeah, kinda. And she gives me some pasta. Now at this point, I'm not hungry at all, like at all. And I know if I don't eat, she's gonna wonder what the hell's wrong with me. So I'm like forcing just a little bit of pasta into my mouth, trying to look normal at this family dinner. And then I look at my hands and I just start staring at them because, of course, they didn't look like my normal hands. There were some added things, all right? I'm staring at them, super vibrant looking and just different. And I'm staring at my hands at the dinner table. And my mom goes, hey, are you okay? You're staring at your hands. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I just don't feel that good. And she's like, okay, do you want anything? And at this point, my family's like quiet. They're like staring at me. They're worried for my health. They're probably like, does this kid have the flu or something? Like, what's going on? So I stand up and I'm like, just please excuse me. I don't feel that good. So I walk into the hallway. I walk into the bathroom. I sit down on the counter of the bathroom with the door shut. And I just stare at the wall. And I'm just taking it all in. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, this is not ideal for what's going on right now. Like, this is not the ideal social situation at all. And of course, right after I sat down on the counter and started looking at the wall, I get a knock on the bathroom door, and I'm like, yes. And in my head, I'm like, please just leave me alone, whoever this is. And it's my mom, of course. And she goes, honey, are you okay? So I unlock the door, I open it. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she goes, you don't seem fine. Did you smoke weed when you were at your friend's house or something? And in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, if only you knew. So I say, no, I didn't smoke weed. She goes, you just don't look like you're all there. I'm like, yeah, well, I don't feel that good. I stayed up all night. I feel a little bit sick. And she's like, all right, well, don't worry about eating. Just come sit with us. I'm like, okay. Now, I can't lie. I was a little bit anxious about how nice my mom was being to me. Because usually, if she would suspect that I was on something back then, she would usually, really question me and get a little bit mad and just, like, try and get as many answers as she could. But she was being super understanding. Like, even though she thought that I smoked weed or, like, suspected it, she was, like, really nice about asking me and, like, didn't threaten to ground me or anything. She was being really nice. And, yeah, so I went out with her to the kitchen table. I sat back down. And at this point, I'm just quiet. I'm staring down at my food, not eating it, thinking, like, please no one talk to me. And, of course, my uncle had to ask something. He had to start a fucking round of questions to me. He's like, hey, how have you been? How's school been? Now, at this point, I dropped out of school. So, of course, I had to then explain to my uncle and some of my family that didn't know yet. I was like, I dropped out of school to pursue that YouTube thing. And he was like, oh, awesome. How is the YouTube thing? I saw some of your videos a couple months ago, some of your stories. They're quite something. They're funny. And in my head, I think, you're in one right now because I'm definitely making a video about this. And when I said that in my head, I started laughing out loud like a psychopath. And he's like, yeah, they're funny. And I was like, thank you so much. Yeah, it's going really good. It's going great, actually. He's like, glad to hear. I'm so glad you found something. Like, I always knew you would. And as nice as that was to hear from him, I still was thinking about what I said in my head, so I laughed even more. And my whole family was just giving me this look of like, what the fuck is wrong with this kid? Like, is he really related to me? Because I wasn't just laughing like, like a small talk, like little chuckle you do in between something funny that someone says or something kind of funny, like that fake laugh, like that. No, I was like hysterically laughing right in front of him and my whole family. I was trying to hold it back, so my face got all red. And I just looked insane. And I know my family was just like completely weirded out by that. And I stopped laughing finally, and I couldn't tell if it was the shrooms doing it or if it was just me being stupid, because when I was in school back in the day, like just sober in class, I would think of funny things from like the day before, like jokes that I've heard, and it would make me start laughing really hard, and like I'd have to hold it back. So I think it was a mixture of that and the fact that I was high on shrooms. So yeah, that definitely didn't, mix together well. So yeah, my whole family's just like making awkward combo now because, this kid at the dinner table is fucking crazy apparently. At least that's what they thought. And my mom taps me on the shoulder after I kept staring at the wall again, and she goes, come with me in the other room for a sec. So we get up, we walk out of the room. My family's quiet because they knew something was wrong. So me and my mom, we walk into her room and she goes, what'd you do at your friend's house? I was like, nothing. She goes, you didn't smoke anything? I was like, no. Just stayed up all night. She goes, really? Lack of sleep is making you act like that? I was like, act like what? She goes, you're staring at the wall, you're staring at your hands, you're being quiet, you're acting strange, you're laughing hysterically for no reason. I'm like, I'm fine. And she goes, did you smoke weed at your friend's house? I was like, no, I really didn't. She's like, you do anything else at your friend's house? And I hesitated, and I was like, no. And she's like, why'd you hesitate? I was like, because I'm just thinking. And she's like, about what? And I'm like, nothing. And she goes, you know what? I don't believe you. I know you're bullshitting me. Go back to your friends or stay in your room for the rest of the night because I'm not letting you embarrass me on my birthday. I was like, okay, fine. So I walk outside, I call another Uber, I go back to my friend's house. And I show up, I walk downstairs, and my friend's like, hey, Austin's back. My other friend starts giggling. He's like, dude, what happened? I thought you were going to your mom's birthday. I was like, I tried. I think she caught on. And he's like, what the fuck happened? So I tell him the whole story. They get a fucking kick out of it. They laugh super hard and pretty much just make a whole joke out of it. And it made their night for sure. They were laughing pretty hard for a long time after I told them that story. And yeah, I sat down, played Xbox with them, and pretty much just wrote out the rest of the trip at the house with them. And yeah, after that was over, I decided to sleep there. So I slept there another night. And I wake up the next day. I text my mom that I'm on the way home. My friend drives me home. I get back, I go inside, it's just my mom who's home. And I was like, hey. And she's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, nothing. And she's just like, alright, cool. How was your friends? I was like, good. It was really strange. Like, she wasn't saying anything to me about the night before. And I just said, I was like, Mom, I'm sorry about last night. She's like, it's all good. Just don't do it again. I was like, okay, thank you. And yeah, surprisingly, like, not what I thought would happen. She didn't ask any questions about if I smoked or anything or like what it was. She just kind of like went about her business that day as usual, which was really weird. And then the next day I brought it up to her. I was like, hey, why aren't you mad at me about the birthday thing? Like, you seemed really mad that night. And now you're just fine. And she was like, look, at the end of the day, it was kind of embarrassing. The whole family thinks you were on something. Even I kind of do. But it's in the past. Just please don't do it again. Like, please. I understand that everything was an accident that day. And that's why I'm letting it slide. But nothing like that ever again, please. And I was like, yeah, of course. So everything was fine and good after that. And fast forward past my 18th birthday, me and her were talking about psychedelics back in the day. And I told her, I was like, hey, you remember on your birthday when I was being kind of like funny? I was like, yeah, I was on shrooms. And she was like, yeah, I had a feeling it was something like that. And I was like, oh, really? She's like, yeah, it was pretty obvious that you were on something. I was like, I'm sorry. And she was like, it's all good. I mean, the whole family kind of thinks you were on something that night, and I kind of knew it. So, yeah, no big deal, just don't do it again. I was like, yeah, of course. And yeah, she was calm about it, really understanding. I think it was because it was after I turned 18, and I just kind of told her. But yeah, moral of the story is, don't do anything like that, please. But yeah, that's pretty much into the story time. In the end, everything was all good. My family probably still thinks to this day that I'm a little bit weird. I mean, they kind of always do. But yeah, that's the end of the story time. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Please leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
Black on black, it's Armageddon. Left foot man came back a legend. They said don't head that direction. That's a dead end.
Literally thousands and thousands of websites that you can use Honey on. Honey, it's the free, super easy to use web browser extension that gets you the best deals when you're shopping online. And what it does is you shop for whatever it is that you already wanted anyway, and it scours the web for coupon codes, tries them all out, and applies whatever is going to get you the best discount on your order. And the best part is that it's free because Honey makes their money off the retailers that you are shopping from instead of from you. They're a huge reason why Scrapyard Wars was able to happen this time around, so massive shout out to those guys. So that's joinhoney.com, super easy to use web browser extension.
Time to get to work, the sky's the limitation. Look at my face, you know I don't play. Please get out the way, I got history to make. Pick up the pace, pick any time and place. I'm ready for whatever, cause greatness never waits. Say, they try to tell me I'm the one missing the message. When all my failures lead to my successes. Cause I got something that nobody else possesses. I want it all, nothing less is accepting God. Get my face, you know I don't play. Please get out the way, I got history to make. I said let me be great. Yeah, I said let me be great. I'm ready for whatever, cause greatness never get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. I said let me be. I said let me be great.
Alright, so I have a pretty interesting story time for you guys today. Hope you enjoy this. Let's just start this. This story time takes place right before I turned 19. I was just sitting in my room with one of my friends watching YouTube, just like really bored. And one of our other friends texted me and asked us if we wanted to come hang out. And we were down for that because we had nothing else to do. So me and my friend got in his car and he drove us over to our other friend's house. And it was the three of us. And we're sitting at my friend's house, just once again watching YouTube, doing nothing. And my friend, the one that invited us over, looks at both me and him and goes, yo, guys, guess what? And I'm like, what, what's up? He's like, you're never going to guess what I got tonight. I'm like, what'd you get tonight? He's like, shrooms. Now, honestly, that wasn't a surprise at all because he was always getting mushrooms. So me and my friend just were not surprised. Like, the way he hyped it up, he was like, oh, you're never going to guess. I honestly assumed it was like a fucking waffle maker or something, not mushrooms. But I was like, oh, nice. And he's just like, you want to do them with me tonight? And before I could even answer, my friend just goes, hell yeah. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good, man. I don't want to do it tonight. And my friend that offered was like, come on, man, why not? Like, it's free. I'm like, no, that's not the problem. It's just, like, not the night for it for me. Like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. And they're like, okay, fair enough. And they respected it, and they backed off. They didn't, like, try and pressure me or anything, because they're good friends. So they started eating the mushrooms, and they left some for me in case I changed my mind. And within 15 minutes after them eating them, I changed my mind, and I ate them too. Now look, don't be like me in this story time and just do something because your friends are doing it, because that could just lead to so many bad situations. But yeah, me and my friends ended up eating mushrooms together, and it started off not well at all because right after we ate them, we went for a walk to the beach near my friend's house. And when we got to the beach, straight up, like immediately, we run into our old middle school teacher. Like, we all had his class back in middle school. And he goes, guys, what's up? How have you been? And I can't lie, I already had some anxiety building up inside of me, so I just assumed that one of my friends would do the talking for everybody, and they didn't say a word. They just looked at me, and we're just pretty much in awkward silence, and in my head I'm like, are they really not going to talk? So then I look at the teacher, I'm like, good, man, how have you been? And he's like, good, Austin, what are you guys doing down here? I'm like, just, walking around. Because I can't tell him the truth. I can't be like, yeah, walking around, just took mushrooms 30 minutes ago, starting to trip. Like, I can't say that. So he's like, oh, cool. Well, enjoy your walk, guys. It was great seeing you. And he walks away and, like, turns back around as he's walking away. And he looks at us with, like, this weird look. Like, he looked concerned. And honestly, I would be concerned, too, if I ran into old students and they silently just didn't answer me in the first few seconds after I asked them a question and gave each other looks. But anyway, that's besides the point. That was just the start of the night, okay? So an hour goes by, and the trip is pretty much in full effect at this point. I'm fucking laughing, and at the same time, getting anxiety, and just, it was a lot of up and down, and super weird. And all of a sudden, my friend starts freaking out, like just having a full-on panic attack, and me and my buddy are trying to calm him down. And I asked him, I'm like, what's up, man? What caused it? He's like, I don't know, man. It just came out of nowhere, like, and now I'm having anxiety about anxiety. And I understood that, because I get that sometimes. So I'm just sitting there with him, like, trying to calm him down. I'm like, you want some water? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, man, I'm going to grab you some water. Stay here. Stay here with him. Oh, good. I'm going to grab him the water. He's like, all right, bro, cool. Can you give me one, too? I'm like, yeah. So I walk across the street, and I go into this gas station, and I buy 3 bottles of water. And the whole time, I'm super paranoid, because I feel like everyone's staring at me, even though they probably weren't. So after I buy the water, I leave the store, and I cross the street, and my friends are just nowhere to be found. Like, they're just gone. So I pull out my phone immediately and call them both, and neither of them answer. So at this point, I'm like, what the hell? Like, why would they just leave me like this? Where could they be? Like, what the fuck? So I start walking up and down the beach looking for them, and I can't find anybody. The only person I saw that looked familiar was my middle school teacher again. And I just keep looking, I can't find them. So finally I go back to the original spot where we were sitting with my friend, and I sit down and I just wait and hope that they come back. So I'm just sitting there, keep in mind, still on mushrooms, starting to have a fucking full-on panic attack myself, because everything's just not going the way I expected it to. And everything just feels weird, like I was just not having a good time. So I pretty much start going into a full-fledged panic attack, and that's when it was my sign to just leave. So I stand up and I start walking out of the beach area, like the park, and I notice right by the park, like the beach, there's a trail, like a woods trail thing. And I was like, you know what? I bet he took my friend in there to try and calm him down. That was what my brain thought. My brain made the idea up that my friends probably went into a giant forest to try and stop my buddy's panic attack. Maybe I'm just stupid, but in my opinion, going into a giant forest right before sundown isn't really the best remedy for tripping and having panic attacks. But you know what? I went in it anyway. And you want to guess what happened? I got lost. I don't know what's up with me and anxiety and psychedelics and forests, but we don't mix very well. I usually end up getting lost in forests, and I got lost. I got very fucking lost. I thought I was on the trail, and I got on a completely different trail that went to a whole different area, and then I ended up just being not on a trail, and I was in the middle of the woods with no guidance. So I start freaking out at this point, because now I'm just lost, and I don't know where I am, and my friends are missing, and I don't know where they are, so I'm worried about them, and I'm tripping, and that doesn't feel that good at the moment. So I was just all sorts of fucked up. So I pull out my phone to see if my friends called or texted. Nothing. So I call both of them again. Of course, none of them answer, and this time one of their phones is off, which was really weird. And I look, and my phone's almost dead. And the sun is setting, and I'm in the middle of the woods, and I just wonder how the fuck I got myself in this situation. Like, how stupid can you be, Austin? So you know what I do? You know what I think's a good idea? I'm like, alright, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna run as fast as I can in one direction until I find an exit, because these woods can't go on forever. I'm out on a road or something, and I probably have a good 20 or 30 minutes before the sun fully sets. So I start running, and no joke, a minute into running, I trip and fall in mud. And my whole, like, knees and just all my pants are pretty much covered in mud. And I get up and I keep running. And as I'm running, I hear a noise. And I look to my left. And I see these two people riding mountain bikes on a trail. And I'm like, yes, that's the trail. So I walk over to it. And I get onto the trail. And the people on the bicycles turn around and look at me. And then they wave. And I wave back at them. And I realize, as I wave at them, that I'm covered in mud. And I probably look like a fucking psychopath just wandering around the woods. Like, can you imagine being on a nice little bike ride with your wife or with your kid or something, or without either of them because she divorced you and took the kid? I don't know, whatever. Imagine just being on a bike and you look and you just see some guy come out of the forest, out of nowhere, covered in mud. Like, it's just a little bit creepy, right? Like, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking, but look. Anyway, I find the trail and I take that trail. I run on it all the way to the end, and I come out. I'm like, yes, I did it. I'm free. So I pull out my phone. I call my friends again. They don't answer. And I'm like, all right, I need to figure out where they are. So I call up two of my other friends that also know them and ask them if they've heard from them at all recently. And they hadn't. So I just told them, I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to keep looking for them. Let me know if you find out where they are or if they call you. And they're like, all right, we got you. So I go on with the search. I'm walking up and down the beach. At this point, it's nighttime, so I can't really see that well at all. And I just can't find them. So I'm like, all right, I got to leave. I got to try and go back to his house. So I walk all the way back to my friend's house by myself, and I knock on his door. And his mom answers. She goes, hey, Austin, what's up? And then all of a sudden, she gives me this look before I could even respond. Like this disgusted, confused look. And in my head, I'm like, she knows I'm on shrooms. And she goes, Austin, what happened to your pants? And I look down, and I realize, oh, yeah, I fell in mud. That's probably why she's giving me this look. So I look back up at her. I'm like, oh, I fell in some mud while I was on a trail. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm sure one of my sons has some clothes that would fit you if you want to change into their stuff and do some laundry. You're welcome to. And I was like, oh, thank you. And she's like, yeah, no problem. And speaking of my son, he's not here right now, so I'm sorry if you're looking for him. I'm like, oh, do you know where he is? And she's like, no, honestly, I have no idea. He might be at work. And I'm like, all right, well, if you hear from him, let me know. I'm just going to head home. And she's like, okay, you sure you don't want to come in and change? I'm like, I'll be okay. I'm just going to go home and wash my clothes. She's like, all right. So I turn around and I start walking down the driveway. And I didn't feel the need to tell her that I was with her son earlier before she got home, or that we did shrooms together, because, you know, I didn't want to tell his mom that. Even though he's an adult, still didn't want to. So anyway, I'm walking down his street, pulled out my phone. I got completely distracted by my phone background because I had the background as this colorful, like, animated city. So I just stared at that for like a solid 5 seconds. And then I realized, oh, I have low battery. I should probably stop being an idiot. So I swipe up, unlock the phone, I call them again, no answer. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I have to go home. I have to go home and charge my phone and then go back out looking for them. I have to find them. So I walked all the way home. It took me almost an hour, and I was going to go there and try and find a portable charger to take with me so I can charge my phone and look for them. Or if I couldn't find one, I would just charge my phone in my room and then go back out and look for them. So I got home, I walk in the front door, and I start walking towards the hallway. And as I walk by the kitchen towards the hallway, I hear someone from the kitchen say, hey, Austin. And nobody was supposed to be at my place at that time, like no one. So I stop, so still, and I turn my head to the right. And there are my two friends just sitting at my kitchen table, just sitting there, hanging out. And I'm like, yo, where have you guys been? And my one friend, the one that was having the panic attack earlier, he was like, we've just been here the whole time, man. I had the idea to come here because it would calm me down. I'm just like, you could have waited for me to leave the store so I could have came to my own place with you guys. And my other friend just goes, what do you mean, man? I said something. I yelled into the store. I said, Austin, we're going to your place. You said, okay. And I'm like, dude, how high off the shrooms are you? Like, I never heard you say that, and I never said okay. And he's just like, oh, I must have been hearing stuff. Must have been someone else or something. I'm like, yeah. You still couldn't have called me back? I called you guys both a bunch of times. And they're just like, oh, my bad, man. Like, our phones are charging upstairs. I'm like, seriously? Whatever. I just could not believe that they didn't think like, oh, it's been quite a while and Austin's still not here. Like, what's taking him so long? Like, literally all they had to do was go upstairs, grab their phones, and just call me back. But yeah, I told them, I'm like, guys, next time, tell me where you're going. Like, actually, like, call me or something. Don't just leave without me coming back. And they're like, yeah, man, we won't. Like, we got worried. I'm like, yeah, I was pretty worried too. But luckily, in the end, everything was all good. Everyone was okay in the end. And just, yeah, moral of the story is, just don't do anything that I talked about in this story time. Don't ditch your friends and leave them behind. Don't go into random forests and get lost. And don't take anything or do anything that makes you uncomfortable because your friends are doing it. But yeah, guys, in the end, everything was all good. We just kind of hung out for the rest of that night at my place and just chilled. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Please leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Feel free to leave your stories in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys out later. Peace.
My boss is a fucking bitch. Matter of fact, you could tell that hoe I fucking quit. I just got $1 for a raise. What the fuck is this? I can make more money on the train doing fucking flips. Barely got enough to go and break, eat some fucking chips. And you always wonder why I'm late for my fucking shift. I don't smile enough, I know. My shirt's never tucked, I know. You should write me up, I don't give a fuck about emails, about retail when I'm not at work.
Meet Lucille. She just got the free browser extension Honey and is on a challenge to see how much money she can save in just 24 hours.
First, I gotta get that new phone. BestBuy.com. New phone, check. Okay, now definitely gonna book a hotel for our next vacation. Booking.com, done. Whoa, 20% off. Pizza?
Add the browser extension in just 2 clicks and save money on practically anything you can buy online, including pizza. Add Honey today for free at joinhoney.com.
What is going on, guys? Austin FFA here, or Luna. So today I have a very, very crazy promise story I would bring to you guys. And let me know how the mic sounds. I turned the input volume down and I have a pop filter on the mic. And it's not even a pop filter, it's just like a thick Nike sock that, I don't know, I just washed it and was like, hey, you're my new pop filter. I mean, I've used them before and they usually make my commentary sound pretty damn dank, so why the fuck not? But anyway, so your boy Luna has a story for you today that I think you guys are going to very much enjoy, and I know you guys have been hyped for it, and I've been hyping it up, saying that, I'm going to release it today. And it was supposed to be out like 2 days ago, but I actually did another video for today, but I didn't end up uploading it, so I have this one. So this is called Caught Smoking Weed at Summer Camp, and this is crazy. So if you watch my previous summer camp video, I explained how the summer camp is strict. They're actually... You guys are going to make fun of me for this. It's a Christian summer camp, believe it or not. So you go there, and, like, every day you have to wake up at, like, 7 in the morning and go to fucking church. And, like, don't ask why I was there, okay? Maybe my mom thought I needed, like, an exorcism because, Illuminati confirmed. But anyway, I went to the summer camp. It's a Christian summer camp, like I said. And this was after the first time I almost got caught. So that's why we thought we were going to do it again without getting caught. So in the first story, like I said, it was a cabin mate, like a cabin kid. Someone who was staying in my cabin saw us smoking weed, and he smoked with us, which is funny. But the second time was actually I got caught by a counselor. So I'm going to jump into this. So
This was literally, I was at the camp for a week and a half, so this was like 3 days after we smoked weed the first time, and we had just a little bit left. I had like a teeny bit of what I had left, not even a lot, not even enough for like half a bowl pack. But my one friend ended up getting his, he got like a little dime to bring with him.
Good to see you.
Yeah, hey, what's with the polka dots?
What do you mean?
Polka dots are out. It's polkas.
One bad bitch, and she do what I say so. 2 big 40s and a big ass Draco. 3 more millions when you ask how my day go. Poured up a phone, not a blueberry fango. One false move and we straight to short shit. 2 small bands just to take you out real quick. 3 more hoes, pull up on fucking shit, that's how it goes. Big bands, I'm coming straight. One bad bitch, and she do what I say so. 2 big 40s and a big ass Draco. 3 more millions when you ask how my day go. Poured up a phone, not a blueberry fango. One false move and we straight to short shit. 2 small bands just to take you out real quick. 3 more hoes, pull up on fucking shit, that's how it goes. Big bands, I'm coming shit. I'm with my niggas, yeah. We some rock stars, and I'm with my niggas, yeah. KK walk hard, this not my dick, little bitch, my Glock hard. Straight to the cash, I'm a trap star, straight to the bag. I'm that nigga, got me some gas, rolling up some cash. Yeah, I got me some, I ain't fussing yesterday, I'ma fuck some. One bad bitch, and she do what I say so. 2 big 40s and a big ass Draco. 3 more millions when you ask how my day go. Poured up a phone, not a blueberry fango. One false move and we straight to short shit. 2 small bands just to take you out real quick. 3 more hoes, pull up on fucking shit, that's how it goes. Big bands, I'm coming shit. 3-0, clipping my Nina. On my toes, Gucci Valentina. She on go, your bitch for the team, cause you know your bitch want a winner. I just went back to my city, and you know they all fucking with me. But it ain't safe, pose with me. I'ma chase bands to the Emmy. Bad bitch, and she do what I say so. 2 big 40s and a big ass Draco. 3 more millions when you ask how my day go. Poured up a phone, not a blueberry fango. One false move and we straight to short shit. 2 bands just to take you out real quick. 3 more hoes, pull up on fucking shit, that's how it goes. Big bands, I'm coming straight. One bad bitch, and she do what I say so. 2 big 40s and a big ass Draco. 3 more millions when you ask how my day go. Poured up a phone, not a blueberry fango. One false move and we straight to short shit. 2 small bands just to take you out real quick. 3 more hoes, pull up on fucking shit, that's how it goes. Big bands, I'm coming straight. Pulling out the coupe at the lot. Told her fuck 12, fuck SWAT. Busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box. Had to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn field. I'ma get lazy. I got the mojo deal. We been trapping like 80. She said the nigga so. Got the cash out. Told him wipe a nigga no. Say slash slash. I won't never sell my soul. And I can back that. And I really wanna know where you at. I was at back, where the stash at? Cruise the city in a bulletproof Cadillac. Cause I know these niggas out there where the bag at. Gotta move
move smarter, gotta move harder. Nigga try to give me 5 Mile water. I lay his ass down on my son, on my daughter. I had the Draco with me, Dwayne Carter. A lot of niggas out here playing, ain't ballin'. I done put my whole arm in the rim, Vince Carter. And I know Poppy get a key for the quarter. Shawty barely seen the double C's, I bought her. Got a bitch that's looking like a Leah, she a model. I got the pink slip, my whip is keyless. Compton, I'm about to get the key to the city. Patty, light up the seat. Forgetting out the coupe at the lot. Tony fuck 12, fuck SWAT. Busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box. Had to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn seal. I'ma get lazy. I got the mojo deals. We been trapping like the 80s. She said the nigga so. Got the cash out. Told him wipe a nigga no. Say slash slash. I won't never sell my soul. And I can back that. And I really wanna know where you at, where? I've been moving them out. And steal it with me, then he got the blues in the pouch. Took her to the forest, put the wood in the mouth. Bitch, don't wear no shoes in my house. The private I'm flying in, I never wanna fly again. I take my chances in traffic. She sucking on dick, no hands with it. I just made the rolling plane like a landing strip. I'm a 2020 president candidate. I done put 100 bands on Zimmerman shit. I been moving real gangster, so that's why she pick a crit. Shawty call me Crisco, cause I pop my shit. Got it out the mud. There's nothing you can tell me. Yeah, when I had a job, South Street wealthy. Yeah, had the coupe at the lot. Tony fuck 12, fuck SWAT. Busting all the bells out the box. I just hit a lick with the box. Had to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn seal. I'ma get lazy. I got the mojo deals. We been trapping like the 80s. She said the nigga so. Got the cash out. Told him wipe a nigga no. Say slash slash. I won't never sell my soul. And I can back that. And I really wanna know where you at, where?